Hey everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and we are doing another Herbcrafter's Tarot study group. And this is now a look at the Hanged One, the Death card, and then Temperance. So we're going to get started. And we have first up the Hanged One, not the Hanged Man, but the Hanged One. And something kept like nagging at me, or like just like really like, what is the name? Why is this art, like why is the artist's name so familiar to me? And it wasn't until I recently procured my, here I'll show you the guidebook, the Gaian Tarot by Joanna Powell Colbert. Then I realized, I'm like, this is why this deck resonates so deeply with me, because the artwork is created by someone that I really admire. I love this deck. I recently scored the first edition, Llewellyn, the Gaian Tarot, and I just adore it so flippin' much. I've been using it nonstop. So I was like, oh, no wonder the Herbcrafters instantly grabbed me. And it's written beautifully as well, but the artwork, it's just so amazing. So now it totally makes sense. You know what I wish? I kind of wish that, like, what you find in the Gaian, you see how the doves, they breach here into the border here? I love that. Wouldn't it have been cool if they somehow did that with this card as well? Oh my gosh. I just live for that moment for sure. The Hanged One. So I didn't know too much about burdock. This is the root that's found here. This might even be an image of what I may have seen on the internet. I see I have some runes here, so that's beautiful. They have the candle, a large burdock leaf. They actually have ginormous leaves that are like big as like the upper torso of a human. They're huge. So that was what I found in my Google search. So I'm going to just do a quick run through or a reminder of some of the questions. I may not answer all of them, or I may answer all of the questions in one. So I just decided to name off the questions and then just touch upon what I feel like touching upon as we look at the cards. First question is, do I know the herbs? And if so, do they speak to the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card meanings that I've grown to know? Why or why not? How do I feel about that? Number two, if I didn't know some of the featured herbs that we're going to look at today in my personal research, did I find it really speaks to the card meanings? Why or why not? Number three, let's look at imagery and symbols found in this card. What speaks to me and why does it speak to me, and what doesn't speak to me and why? And then number four, what are my personal card meanings I've now assigned to the featured card after the analysis that we're going to give for the Hanged One. Okay, so I didn't know much about burdock, and I Googled it. I know in Asian cultures, this is something that was used heavily in medicinal and like cuisine purposes. And it's like quite bitter, but when I looked at some of the pictures of like how, like, I think Japanese cuisine calls for sauteing it. And they had it sauteed with sliced carrots. It was kind of good, to be honest. But anyways, sorry for shaking the tripod. In my research, what was interesting is these little bulbs that grow on the plant itself. It has like this lock and key kind of like micro, like it grabs things like Velcro, and actually hints how Velcro was invented. Like the inventor noticed that that's how it would grab things. It would grab things that would float by, or even grab like little birds and would like capture them and have them hanging and suspended to a slow death. And because of this grab mechanism, they forgot how they call it, like a lock and grab or something like that. And so I thought that was interesting. It also is something that helps with male impotence, I believe, like a medicinal purpose for that. So I didn't even jot down any notes. These were just things off the top of my mind. And then I Googled some images, and this is just a really interesting looking root and plant. Like the leaf is ginormous, like some of the pictures that they had. And then the interesting little pretty, like, but kind of dangerous looking little bulb that kind of grabs you. That was also interesting. And then you have this root. So everything is used up with this plant. Everything, every experience. And when I think about the Hanged Man, I think about sometimes things looking one way, but then really being able to look at things from another perspective and being able to really use up or gain as much as you can from a situation because of the change in perspective and the ability to see everything more clearly, and then to take everything and really absorb everything that you can. And what I find is that the book often is very helpful, the guidebook, and really helping to understand this card's meaning. But I also still like to consult other cards for guidance. So, of course, I pulled out my traditional Centennial Smith Waite deck to look at this. And you know, a lot of what I get from the Hanged Man traditionally is that this person is chilling. This person is not necessarily feeling like they are having to really restrict. Now, they could totally like resist being in a hung position. But this, in this way, when you're looking at it in the upright for us, you see that this person is like, okay, I'm taking things as they come, and I'm going to gain as much as I can from top to bottom. You know, it's interesting. So I thought that was a nice tie-in. And then I said, okay, I'm going to look at, so my favorite deck right now is my Gaian Tarot, right? My first edition Gaian Tarot. And that is created by Joanna Powell Colbert. So I pulled out the hanged one in this deck. And in this deck, it's called the Tree. And so again, you get a scene of serenity. It's interesting when I look at other tarot decks with the Hanged Man or the Hanged One or the Hanged Woman or the Tree. Sometimes the hanged person is kind of like not really too, you look at the facial expressions or you look at the scene and they're not necessarily happy. And what I do like about that is that sometimes situations come and turn us upside down, and it's an external situation even that's really outside of our control. And we have to then be able to call upon that ability inside of ourselves to be resourceful and then to just kind of bear down and be at peace with what things are unfolding. So I'm like, okay, I may not know this root or herb very well, but I understand and can make my way around what I see in my research compared to what I'm seeing and knowing about the Hanged Man, you know, and then what I'm seeing in the actual images here. And so I thought that was quite interesting. I'm going to take a look at let's see. Let's look at the Hanged Man's meaning in the traditional Waite-Smith. We have wisdom, trials, circumspection, discernment. Oh, I like that. Sacrifice, intuition, divination, okay, and prophecy. Interesting. Okay, and that could be why it's illuminated here. And so when you see the runes here for the prophecy and the wisdom and the what, magic and divination, I thought that was cool. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, the leaf is ginormous. You have to Google that and see. It's just really large and in charge. I'm going to take a look now at the guide book, and I'm going to zoom in so we can get a good close look at this card. So let's go to Burdock. Embrace a foe as a friend. Tap into nourishment found in the depths. So I like that with the root, right? That makes sense. Let go of control. Lasting change takes time. Yeah, just kind of suspending and just kind of going with it, right? Going with the flow, because really, what else are you going to do? A lot of us, in terms of dealing with the shelter in place in response to the pandemic, have really been in a place of the tree or the hanged one, having to hang out and wait and see as things kind of, you know, unfold and do what it do. A cup of tea, this is now the guidebook, a cup of tea placed over a large burdock leaf reflects the naked tree outside the window. A large clean root rests on the table, the tendrils forming the shape of the hanged one, legs crossed like the numeral 4. Oh, nice. Burdock root runes spill out from their blue velvet bag toward a lit beeswax candle. Challenge presents an opportunity for growth. Though burdock is a tenacious weed, it can also be a valuable plant. The presence of burdock may indicate where the land is lacking nutrients. Using the large leaves as mulch can bring nourishment to the surface. When the leaves break down, the soil will improve and burdock will no longer have the conditions to thrive. Flip the script on a difficult situation. See the problem as the solution. Oh, I like that. Burdock is also a valuable ally for the liver as it helps clear and release toxins. But healing the land or the body requires a long-term commitment. Surrender to the process. Deep change takes time. And if you think about it in terms of like how things have really started to improve with Mother Earth, with everyone kind of doing the shelter in place, and you know, the pollutants are less, and it's just less wear and taxing on the earth and the planet right now. And it's just an interesting time and an opportunity, right? A problem presents an opportunity for lasting change, but lasting change takes time. I really like that. I really do. Oh my goodness. I know why. You know what's fun is also just drawing a oracle card to see if there's any messages, Spirit, that you can give us to help us really draw out the meaning for this particular hanged one. And we're working with, just so you guys know, the Sacred Destiny Oracle. That's what this is. I should zoom out, huh? So you can see what I'm doing. This is the Gaian Tarot. This is the Centennial. Okay. Simplicity and forgiveness. Yeah, for sure. Here, let me zoom out so we can really get a better look. I know, camera. Yeah, so we got simplicity and forgiveness. So right off the bat, that is totally giving me the Hanged Man energies. It's like, just get back to the basics and get back to a simple way of being and breathing and living, and just taking a moment to just kind of turn things on their head, see things in a new light, a new perspective. And often what results from that, what the gift in all of that is this ability to have some forgiveness, So, and to forgive as a part of this Hanged One experience. Interesting. So, the images and the scenery that I'm getting, and I did actually have to look at this. I'm glad I did Google the images to see the leaf, to understand how large, what they mean in the guidebook, because otherwise, I don't know if I would have been able to totally make the connection. And some crafting with the Hanged One. Invite burdock to shift your perspective. Sit with it in the wild. Harvest it. Cook with it. Tap into wisdom from the depths by crafting burdock root runes for divination. Enjoy a slow cup of burdock tea. As you sip, silently release all that is keeping you stuck. I like that. Get back to the basics. Simplicity, forgiveness, release and let go, and surrender. Oh, love it. We could sit all day with that. I'm going to shuffle those back in. All right, moving on to death. That sounds so morbid, right? Let's move on to death. We have Marigold. And here's the death card. Let's see. Okay. And then I have the death card from the Gaian Tarot. Okay. Marigold. Now what I will tell you is this. Oh, why is it not focusing? I might have to. Okay. So marigold is like this stinky flower that I used to encounter a lot when I lived in the Bay Area. I mean, I see them out in Sacramento, but not as much because I think it's super hot. And so when I see them, I'm always surprised, because I remember when my mother tried to transport them from the Bay Area, which is like a much cooler climate than where we live now, which is in the Central Valley of California. And it's hot here. And so the flowers immediately died once they came to town. So for me, the marigolds, the little stinky marigolds, and them dying, and me having a whole new beginning out here. I was a teenager at the time when we made that move. It was like, oh God, it was like, oh my God, life as I know it is over. But then, whoa, what a new beginning, and what a journey I've embarked on just by moving a couple hours away, you know? So I thought that was interesting for me personally. And look, in this image, you have butterflies, you know, which is all about transformation, that change, that making that transition. You've got candles all around. You've got the skull, obviously symbolizing death. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, I didn't really, I'll be honest, I kind of glanced through in a Google search, but because I was familiar with marigolds, I was like, I'm just going to go with it and just see what comes up for me. And I'm curious to see what you all think about marigold. And I'm sure you're going to pick up, like, they have these little flags here. I'm sure you're going to pick up on things that I don't even see. And that's what I love about doing these study sessions. And then we have the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith or Waite-Smith. But literally there's death all around. We have the Pope praying, and there's a new dawn over here in the horizon, that death is happening, transformation is at hand. That is what it is. And so in the artist Joanna Powell Colbert's deck, the Gaian Tarot, she has death depicted as a like shipwrecked boat that looks like it's been that way for a while. You know, there's beautiful like grass kind of growing around it. So that's, you know what's fun? It's doing the oracle. We'll shuffle that for a moment. But we're going to look at the death meaning, traditional Smith-Waite meaning. Let's see. Death. So here's death. End, mortality, destruction, corruption. Reverse, inertia, sleep, lethargy, yes. Petrifaction, somnambulism, don't know what that is. So that's the traditional meaning. So now we're going to take a look at the Herbcrafter's guidebook. Marigold. Honor that which is passing. Oh, celebrate the beauty and fragility of life. Welcome endings. Wow, I like that. 13 beeswax candles glow inside a mandala of, oh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, so we'll just call it marigold flowers in a dark room. A calavera skull, painted in striking reds, purples, and greens, is illuminated in the center. Delicate and colorful papel picado cut tissue paper flags frame the top and bottom of the mandala. Monarch butterflies are drawn to the rich scent of the flowers. That's true. They did draw a lot of butterflies. I do recall that. Rich. My mother's was stinky. That's what I remember most. That they were pretty, but not so good to smell for me. The meaning here. All things come to an end. Find closure so you may accept renewal. First, pay homage to what must die. It has given you life. The rich scent and vibrant color of the marigold is said to lead the souls of the beloved dead home, so we may celebrate them in the lives they lived. Honor your experiences as they pass. Like the delicate paper flags, life is fragile and fleeting. Delight in the beautiful moments, as the bright marigold flowers will eventually wither and fade. Embrace this time of transition. A sacred contract is reaching completion. Let the petals fall. Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful. Crafting with death, according to the guidebook. Create ceremony to acknowledge a symbolic death. Build a mandala outside to celebrate beauty. As it is consumed into the body of the earth, release your hold on what you no longer need. And number 3, welcome transformation by making art with butterfly imagery. I really love that so much. I really do, because when I think about the marigolds and what season they played in my life, personally, that was definitely an ending. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and that was such a big change to go and move as a junior at 16 to another part of the state, and it was just the ending for sure. But a new beginning was at hand. I just didn't know. Oh, what a new beginning. Spirit, do you have any guidance on how to help us glean any more from the marigold about the death. Oh, guys, you can't make this stuff up. This is what jumped. Transformation. I'm called to even just look at this guidebook sometimes, you know, just to read something. Like my intuition sometimes just says, blue butterfly. It's no accident that the butterfly represents transformation, rebirth, and resurrection. Remarkably, when the caterpillar becomes a chrysalis, it doesn't just instantly become a butterfly. It actually dissolves into a kind of soup. In other words, it liquefies itself, and out of that emerges something completely different. It is a true transformation. In some cultures, blue butterflies are considered very good luck and even wish granters. In Native American tribes, it is believed that a wish whispered to a butterfly will be granted when it flies to the heavens. The Native American shawl dance, which celebrates renewal, is derived from the butterfly dance. Also, the color blue represents a calmness, peace, and spiritual attunement, and the blue butterfly is thought to carry all these meanings. The sacred landscape wants you to know this is the time for change, reinvention, or a rebirth into a new way of being. If you've been plodding along, this card suggests that you take measures to shift everything. Don't resist change. The blue color suggests a spiritual renewal or initiation. Transformation doesn't mean taking something old and remodeling it or rearranging a few things. It means becoming something completely different or doing something completely different. Change is often uncomfortable, but it is usually for the highest good. This is a very lucky card, and drawing this card can mean that a wish may be about to come true. And I love that in all the contexts. When you think about the progression of the hanged, let's bring these back. When you think about this, right? Kind of being at a place of just saying, fine, I surrender, I let go. I'm just going to see, get to that place. And just as you do, here comes, boom, the transformation and that change. And this prepped you for being able to walk through that, the shadow, what is it? The valley, the shadow of death. What is that? Anyways, you know what I mean. So it just is interesting to me. It's like prepping you for this next big transformation that's happening, for you to be able to move forward through it. And you will move forward. This horse is moving towards that new beginning. No matter what we think is going to happen, that is what's going to happen. It's an ending and a new beginning. And I love that the card that jumped, of course, is transformation. Spirit just likes to play with us too. That's all. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit's teaching us as well with this. And it's really helping me to really fall in love with this deck. I'll have to tell you that. We're going to go a little bit over, as you guys can see. We're going to now touch upon Temperance. But, oh well. I knew that death, these are heavy hitters of the tarot, by the way. Not just because they're majors, but because people really shouldn't overlook the importance of the Hanged One. And obviously death is a heavy hitter. And nor should people underestimate Temperance. She is a receptive kind of energy, balancing, harmonizing. And I don't know much about Camellia, I'll be honest. I did do a quick Google search, kind of looked around, looked at it, didn't delve into it as much as I did with the burdock. So I said, well, I'm going to really consult this guidebook here and see. But, when we look at Joanne's deck here with the Gaian Tarot, and then we look at it here, it's like really spot on to what's going on in the traditional card, right? Literally, even with the wings. even with the wings. A balancing force. After going through the transformation, the change of going from one way of being to the next way of being, now you've got a balancing force coming in with that temperance energy, that gorgeous temperance energy. And then we look at this one here, and we're going to try to familiarize ourselves with what this camellia is about. It is used in a tea. I did get that much. I didn't make notes, which shame on me. That's something I should have done. We're going to look at the traditional meaning of temperance, economy, moderation, frugality, I like that, management, accommodation, reverse, things connected with churches, religions, sex, the priesthood, also unfortunate combinations, disunion, competing interests. Isn't that interesting? That is from the traditional meaning. That's from the traditional meaning. Now we're going to look at the guidebook. Number 14. Trust the magic of presence. Let's brew this up for you. See the sacred in the simple. Create new magic from what is familiar. An old Japanese teapot painted with blue flowers sits on a bamboo tray. 3 full cups reveal the chartreuse color of the steaming tea near a wooden bowl filled with dried leaves. A vibrant branch of the tea plant, camellia, drapes across the center. Its leaves are waxy and deep green. The flowers are bright white with a rich yellow center. Focus on the present moment brings balance to opposing forces. Give every task before you should... let me read this again. Give every task before you the gift of your full attention. Oh, that's something so good. Bring presence. Bring yourself to it. I love that. Stillness reveals the middle way. The tea ceremony is an act of mindfulness. The tea plant is rich in antioxidants and strengthens the heart. Preparing a pot of tea with intentions cultivates harmony and promotes well-being. The ritual becomes the holy alchemy that affects change. There is magic in the mundane. Ordinary tea bags stop minor bleeding, soothe sunburns, and reduce eye inflammation, widely used botanical in history. Let ancient practices inspire fresh ideas. Crafting with temperance. Display a single camellia bud in a small vase. Carefully observe it and discover a new detail each day. Create a simple ceremony for peace around your daily cup of tea. Oh, I like that. And number 3, learn to make kombucha. Experiment with unique flavors and share with friends. Interesting. And now, as I like to do, I like to consult the Oracle. Spirit, can you give us a card or two to help us really download the temperance meaning? Relaxation. Relaxation. I'm not going to read from the guidebook, but temperance. Just bringing in that balance. I can totally get that ritual. Ritual is sometimes really good for just, the soul, and for those who are filled with anxiety, like conditions of anxiety, for example, or depression, and just having that ritual. Yeah, well, taking rest. That's just me playing and shuffling with the cards. But relaxation totally is something that I think is super important to the temperance moment. Like slowing it down to the point of being present and really taking it moment by moment and recognizing your power is in the now. So enjoy it and really savor and suck every bit of the life out of that moment, right? We are in such a rush sometimes, in such haste in everything that we do, that it's nice to slow it down and remember to relax a little Why are we in such a damn rush? I have to ask myself that all the time. Where are you going? What are you rushing to? Slow down. And Temperance calls for that. I love that. She's such a harmonizing energy that's necessary. And again, people kind of sleep on Temperance and be like, it means harmony, it means moderation, blah. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, the goal is so we can live a relaxed life, right? Like moderation allows for that. When we're out of whack, not in, balance and in harmony, we are not relaxed. We are not chill. We are not, it's like, it's just not right. All is not right with the world. So yeah, that's fun. I love doing this exercise with you guys. It's really helping me. And I'm hoping that you're gaining some different insights into the Herbcrafter's Tarot, or not. Maybe you're just kind of like, oh, this is a nice, good reminder of what that card means. Maybe you don't even have the Herbcrafter's Tarot, but maybe this is helping you with your meanings, your card meanings. But it's my hope that each of us are able to take something away from these moments. And I know for me, for sure, I'm taking a lot away from it. It's like I can't even wait to really start using this deck again. I haven't really been using it yet, because that's not yet part of this tarot study group for me. For you guys, you can use it all the time. But for me, I've been setting aside the next cards I'm going to feature. And not really using it, really just studying it, looking at it, Googling it about it, and etc. And sometimes journaling about what I'm seeing. So it's been totally in study deck mode, not in use where I'm like reading it for myself or for others, or using it for readings for others, I should say, and for myself. But that will change once we get through all of the cards. And then we're going to get, for me at least, to a place where we're going to throw it in for some readings. All right, guys, I want to hear from you about the cards featured. Let me know what you think. So much love, so many blessings, and I'll see you all in the next video. Please take care. Bye. Let's continue the conversation in the comments down below. Thank you.